Greetings everyone, Fromark here once again with the Fromark Plays show, and it's been a hot minute since I did that Donkey Kong Country 1 playthrough a couple of years ago, so I'm gonna go ahead and follow that up with Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest, originally released in North America on the Super Nintendo on December 4th, 1995, which is 1 year and 4 days before I was released in North America. But anyways, yeah, so it's called Diddy's Conquest, and it's supposed to be a pun on the word conquest. For the longest time when I was a kid, and I know a lot of other people made this mistake, but we just called it Diddy Kong's Quest. But we're all wrong. It's supposed to be a pun. Get it? But anyways, folks, this game pretty much picks up immediately after the first game's events. This is the ship that you battle King K. Rool on in the final boss battle in Donkey Kong Country. And also, King K. Rool is now a pirate captain, and this game leans heavily into the pirate themes and whatnot, which I'm fine enough with. I don't mind it. It's a pretty good game, honestly. It ranks in my top 10 favorite games of all time. But before I really get on with the total action here, there's something I want to show off, and it involves this room. Now, many years ago, my friend Mike showed me a trick that I was completely unaware of, that you can get all 75 Crim coins in this room before the game really even starts. Now, what are Crim coins, you're asking? Why, they're the little bonus coins you can pick up in bonus levels and just hidden throughout the game. And if you get all 75 of them by the end of the game, you can do a fancy thing where you can unlock some bonus content, which I will be getting to later. But to save time, hassle, and headache, I wanted to go ahead and do the glitch and get all 75 coins now so I don't have to worry about it later. And just to keep the playthrough moving nice and smooth. I actually show off a couple of neat tricks throughout this game, so stay tuned. But yes, this is the new character of the game. This is Dixie Kong. And she's pretty cool because she can fly, or at least glide. She's got that helicopter hair, and she's kind of overpowered with it sometimes, but I don't mind it. She even gets to be the main character in Donkey Kong Country 3, which, that's a fine enough game. I know a lot of people crap on that one and say that it's not very good, but I think it's pretty good, and I think it's a perfect end to the trilogy. But I'm going to show off some bonus rooms, some hidden areas. Now, to find the token, I'm looking for one of those Crim coins, but since I already have all the Crim coins, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now what happens? But enough with the Sonic tangents. I'm going to go ahead and ride the Ramby Rhino to the end of the stage. Now, the animal buddies, I feel like there's a higher emphasis on the animal buddies in this game. Oh, and there's also those DK coins. If you get all those at the end of the game, well, I'm not really sure how it works, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. I like how she plays that electric guitar. But there's those targets at the end of each level where if you hit them from a high enough area, you can get items that are flashing across the goalpost. But yeah, this is a pretty cool game. I honestly enjoy it. It was a bit of a headache to record it. Honestly, there was no way I was going to be able to record this in the same vein as I did the first one. As I recorded the first one live and just completely did it live. I did it live! I'll write it, and I'll do it live! Oh, I like those as multiple one-up balloons. Of course, if you didn't already notice, the multiple ones are green, and your standard one-up is just the red balloon. So technically, you could get 99 red balloons throughout the game. Also, I like how in the second game here, a majority of the enemies make that noise whenever you hit them, which is recycled from the first game. And let me see, do I go for a one-up here? Yes, I do. Cool. And how Dixie Kong does her electric guitar playing, Diddy Kong raps. He's got his boombox, and it's full of 90s goodness. And there's a Cranky Kong, he's back too, but I don't really have to deal with him in this. There's no point. He's just Cranky Kong. And I managed to get myself hit, but no worries. I feel like it is really easy to run into all kinds of BS in this game. There are enemies everywhere. There's always something waiting to mess up your day. So that's just one of many reasons why it took me a while to record this. But I'm very happy with the results, and I hope y'all are too. I mean, I'm sure some of you will cry illegitimate playthrough over my 75 crim coins trick. And I'm sure some of you might say that later too with one of the levels that I just kind of take. I don't necessarily shortcut it, but I find a way to trick the game, if you will. But that's not until much later. Much later. So there's also those banana coins which come in handy. You definitely want to get as many of those as you can because, well, there's the Kong colleges, which are your save points in this game, and you can only save for free one time, which is kind of lame, because that wasn't an issue in the last game. But you have to, after you get one free save, you got to use 2 banana coins to save again. I almost said crim coins. No, those will be utilized for something even more interesting later on. Oh. I never get tired of hearing that. I also never get tired of getting extra lives. Yeah, rock and roll. Rock and roll, Kongs. Let's go. Yeah, there's the Kong College. I don't need to stop there right now, though. But moving on, there's actually quite a bit of alliteration madness in this game that I'd never really picked up on before. Lockjaw's Locker, Gangplank, Galleon, Arctic Abyss, Bramble Blast. I'm taking some pages out of the Sonic CD playbook. I actually like the water levels in this game a little bit more than I do in the first one. But if I gotta rank the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, for me it's 2, 3, 1. I know that's blasphemy to some, but that's just my opinions. I feel like the first game is fine enough as it is, but I don't know, I don't find it to be as fun going back to. DKC2 is a pretty fun game, although every now and again it loses some points for its enormous difficulty, as this is a pretty tough game. This can be pretty tough to get through sometimes. And there were many a deaths off screen, and many a times where save states and all that good stuff came in handy. But there were plenty of times where I was recording this game and I was like, do I even want to record this game? Because I'm just struggling so much. But I was able to pull it all together, able to get another extra life. Dixie Kong plays another jammin' guitar solo. Which, speaking of guitars, I just put out my single Ruins of Route 346 recently, and at least at the time of recording this. Oh hey, it's the Rattly, the snake. I don't like this animal buddy. I don't care much for this animal buddy. It kinda sucks. But it's not the worst one in this game. I will save that title for the purple bird, the Quox. I mean, Squawks is pretty cool, except for that one level, and I'm sure you already know what that one level is. But, once again, getting a little bit ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the snake buddy. There's another level later on where he's pretty much the star of the show, and it's not a very fun time for the most part, but I manage. I'll get through it. Kinda have to. Got 5 banana coins so far. Banana coins. And yeah, most of these levels are kinda short, kinda easy to get through. Well, kinda easy to get through. Some of these levels are, and some of them aren't. And I feel like one thing that this game, I feel like kinda loses some other points is because I feel like the progression in this game is really inconsistent. Like, it seems like you're going from one level to the next often, but it just doesn't seem like there's a proper flow. It's like later on you got swamp levels, and then you move to a roller coaster, and then a beehive, and it's like, where's all this crap coming from? But that's gonna do it for another level. And I just realized that I haven't even mentioned my first experiences playing this game. I didn't grow up on this game. I didn't play this one until much, well, later after the fact that I played Donkey Kong Country 1. As I got a cartridge of that one when I was in the 6th grade. I didn't play Donkey Kong Country 2 until about 5 or 6 years later. Actually, no, it was about 3 years later, actually. So it would have been around late 2011, early 2012, when my family finally got with the times, got a computer, and got the internet. And I was already well versed in what emulators were, but I'd never really had the chance to play them until they got that computer. And the first 2 games that I remember playing, I downloaded the Super Nintendo emulator, and I played this, and I played Earthbound. Still never beaten Earthbound. Maybe one of these days I could do that on the channel. That'd be kind of neat. I'm not opposed to playing RPGs on this channel. I just know it would take a long time to do. And I haven't quite figured out how I would go about it yet, but for now I'll stick to my bread and butter of platforming and other miscellaneous things that I feel like. I like the music here. The music in this game is overall 10 out of 10. There's some really good tracks. There's some I don't like, but this is one of the better ones for sure. It's got a nice beat to it. It's nice and funky. And I don't know that it necessarily... I mean, it works for the lava levels, I guess. The lava levels are pretty neat. I don't go out of my way, though, to get everything in this game. I don't go out of my way to get all the Kong letters. And just because I did the 75 Crim Coin glitch, that doesn't technically count as me getting all the percentage for the game. It doesn't count toward your percentage when you do it illegitimately. But it doesn't matter when you can still beat the game. But every now and again I fall backwards into one of these bonus levels, and it's no trouble. Every now and again I'll show some of these off, even if I don't really need to. But I don't manage to show everything off in this game. I'm sure there's plenty of secrets and tricks and stuff I'm unaware of with Donkey Kong Country 2. And here's another animal buddy. This is a Squitter. He is a spider dude, and I like this animal buddy because he's kind of broken. You could cheese the game with him, or at least the levels that he's in. Because not only is his projectile pretty strong, but his projectile turns into platforms, which makes it easy for you to just walk across and just go on about your business. So yeah, this is definitely one of the better animal buddies in the game, but even still, you gotta be really careful, because if you get hit, I mean, he drops like a rock. I don't know, just sometimes the animal buddies in this game are a little overkill. It seemed like there were a lot less of them in the first game. But I don't know. I mean, the first game is good. I like the first game. I don't hate it. It's just not as good, in my opinion, as this one or the third one even. No fancy items in this level. Just get on with it. Now, that club is kiosk. I'll explain that one later on. But to keep things moving along, I better just keep things moving along. I like the music here, too. This one gets stuck in my head a lot, mostly for the percussion. It's the percussion that makes it memorable, because it's all like clank, 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 bam, 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 bam. But no, I like these levels. Sometimes they can get kind of frustrating. And there's a couple of them in this game, not very many. Sometimes this game does like a rule of 3 almost, where I notice there's 3 of these mine levels, and there's 3 of the minecart levels later on. And yeah, just stuff like that. Gotta look out for these bees. Not the bees! Not the bees! Ah, the bees! Did you notice there's a lot of enemies that return from the first game? Like those birds, I'm pretty sure they were in the first game, but they didn't have those bandanas. They don't look any more threatening with bandanas. In fact, it just kind of reminds me of that episode of The Office with Prison Mike. But it looks like I'm getting pretty close to the end of this part, so this must be the last level I do in this one. So far, it's off to a pretty good start. We're off to a pretty good rolling start here. KG. No, this ain't Kamikaze Games. Anyway, yeah, this is gonna do it for this one. Ooh, I got the banana coin too. And I'm gonna break out a jam on my boombox. And yeah, folks, that's gonna do it for part 1. I hope you'll tune in to part 2.